All right, so hello everyone. We're going to be painting a hummingbird today as we start with this red color here. And be sure to watch till the end for my bonus feature. And yeah, this is kind of interesting because this painting was something that at the time when I painted it, this is a couple of years ago, this painting, and I'm doing my voiceover a little bit later here. And I thought it's not a good painting. I just wasn't into it. I just didn't think that it was a good enough paint. But now, a couple of years later, as I'm doing my voiceover and looking back at this painting, actually looks pretty good. So you just don't know, with painting and art, you just have to sometimes, I guess, lessons that I'm learning is that you just have to be patient. Your perception of your own painting, sometimes you can be really, I don't know, we can be too critical of our paintings. So I kind of like this painting now that I look at it again, is that I started out with some, RGB, some primary colors in the middle with red, yellow, and blue, as you can see. But then again, my main focus, my main emphasis nowadays is to really focus on colors, making sure that colors are neutral. Like in this case, I'm starting with a gray color for you guys as I using my palette knife to kind of work my way from the masking tape here. As you can see, the interesting technique that I'm using here is that I'm always starting away from the masking tape into the canvas. So I'm using my white color here, as you can see, just applying it as we kind of eyeballing the situation, back and forth. So I just wanted to make sure that inwards, inside the center of the canvas, if you will, is a little bit more brighter than compared to the outside of the grayscale painting that you see here. So that's what I'm doing right now. So making sure that all my real estate is covered. So what I was trying to say in the beginning was, with the masking tape, if you want a nice clean masking at the end of this painting process, make sure that you're moving this paint away from the masking tape into the center of the canvas, as I'm doing here. So I'm just kind of playing around with palette knife here, just to see how the colors are how colors are mixing in together, just to see, so that's what I wanted to use this specific palette knife. But you don't have to use the palette knife, of course. You can also use a regular just paintbrush, And lower right left hand corner here, adding some light. I should have probably done it, applied this paint from the beginning to speed up the process. But it's just one of those painting process that as you try to discover your own signature, or for those of you who are just watching me paint this just to help you relax, I know a small fraction of your I think the statistic says that less than 7-8% of the people who see the Bob Ross painting actually follow along. I think that was the numbers that I saw the other day. I'm not sure exactly which video that was. Probably a Netflix documentary on Bob Ross that the narrator was talking about. But probably that's where I picked up that numbers about 7 or 8% of the people who actually watch the how-to videos like to follow along. But most of the people, they just enjoy the creator, whoever's painting, to start painting and finish the process from beginning to end, and just kind of have a relaxing experience, with this whole artistic creation. So here I'm just kind of eyeballing it again. I thought I might need to add a little bit more white to this. I thought this primary color of red, orange, and yellow and blue was a little bit too much. So I'm just kind of seeing, with letting my hands do all the motion here with this palette knife. And a little nice quote here from Pablo Picasso here: "Others have seen what is and asked why. I have seen what could be and asked why not." So I'm not sure if exactly that's what Pablo said at the time, but I thought it was a really nice quote just to share with you guys. And this was a few months after my furlough, when I was during a furlough 2020 pandemic years, as you might remember, for those of you. And I just had a little bit more time. It was just, to be honest with you, it was a very this stressful time for me, and a lot of sense of uncertainty. So I'm using my black here just to start the outline of this hummingbird. As you can see, just kind of, I have this vision in my head of what this hummingbird that used to fly around a lot when I was, just staying home a lot and seeing these wonderful creatures that they're very territorial from what I understand from the nature channels that I've been watching. But I'm just have this vision, a basic idea of what hummingbird should look like. But for those of you who are a little bit more, who wants to follow along with this, who are not quite sure, you can always sketch out the basic shape of the hummingbird, and also using some reference photos if you can find, plenty of them out there, so you can kind of practice a little bit and just sketch out the basic outline of a hummingbird. Of course, you have to make sure the background colors all dried up before you do so, but just to kind of decide it, I'm just going to put this bird in the center of it. Maybe I should follow along the basic 1/3 rule now that I look at it. But I know it's just a square 12-inch by 12-inch canvas that I'm using, and I thought I'm just going to put it in the center. I like the idea of these days loose painting, kind of loosely painting my subject matter, just kind of let my hand do all the motion. Basically, I kind of enjoy it very much. I used to be where, certain paintings I felt like to have certain sense of quality, if you will, you gotta be very detailed, like photorealistic, spending hours and hours and layers upon layers and even weeks and weeks to try to make the painting very realistic, which is good. That I'm not saying that's not a good painting, but a lot of times you just need to kind of loosely paint it, just be free. It's kind of liberating to paint it this way. Now that I look at my painting that I painted a couple of years back and recording this video 2-3 years later, and kind of sharing that with you. But I really like the gold color. As you can see, I'm applying a little bit of gold. It's not, of course, not a real gold, but gold colored paint. Kind of dripping technology, just kind of filling the inside of the outline of the hummingbird. And getting back to that hummingbird story, and it's just, they're very territorial. And what's amazing about that is they're constantly in motion, as you know. So they have a lot of need for calories, constantly need to consume the nectars and to try to stay alive, and at nighttime, when they are resting on a branch, their temperature has to drop to save energy, of course, to like it's amazing level to try to survive through a cold, chilling weather that's outside as soon as the sun goes down. So this one documentary I was watching, this particular hummingbird, its heartbeat was almost down to just very unnoticeable beat. And the narrator was basically saying this is basically, it's getting to the point where in a very extreme hibernation mode, to the point where it's almost like very near death. Basically, that's what hummingbird has to go through almost every night, just to try to survive through their migration from, a lot of them comes from South America. It's very fascinating to me how much of a hard worker they are. They're constantly moving, as you know. And here, I'm just going to use my toothpick here, getting back to my painting, just the flowers, just kind of loose painting once again. Of course, you can be as detailed as you want. with any particular painting. But for this particular one, I've decided to keep it kind of loose, kind of very abstract kind of, but at the same time, at the end of the day, when I'm done with this painting, I wanted to be able to have a piece that my wife can actually hang, want to hang in the room, and not something that's like, yeah, it looks good, but it's just, I can't, we can't hang it anywhere, so. Time for a masking. So as you can see, nice and clean, because I had pre-planned the way I would paint the background from outside to inside of the canvas. So doesn't always work out the best, but I think from the look of it, it looks pretty good. The paints are still, a lot of it is wet, so I have to make sure that I'm not touching it as I'm adding this finishing touch. I hope you enjoyed this painting as much as I enjoyed painting them for you, and I hope to see you soon. And here's a little bonus clip of my youngest daughter